Hey guys, welcome back to the next part of our series. Today we're going to continue with the hand armor retopology, which is this bandages right here. Well, all of these bandages and the little bit of armor that we have right here. And we're actually going to jump into ZBrush. This is why I wanted to do the series. When I started planning, it's like there's so many ways to do things, and it's not unusual to jump from one software to another to generate all of the things that you normally need. So let's close. We're back to the high poly version, and then if we go to the it is here on the folder, arm bandages. There we go. So if we take a look at all of the arm bandages, well, we can start with the armor. This armor we did with Dynamesh and stuff, so this is one of those pieces that we're definitely going to have to manually retopologize, and we'll do this inside of Maya. But all of the armors, like these arm bandages right here, we actually had some nice, in this case they're Dynamesh things, but we can use this or we can remesh these things, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get out of Isolate Select. I'm going to hide everything. I'm going to turn on all of the bandages. Okay, so it's all of those elements are the bandages. And then since all of them are already on the high poly like system, on the high poly effect, I'm just going to say subtool, merge visible. It's going to be quite heavy because all of these guys are quite heavy, but we should get something nice. Let's see if we can get all of them to be in the single subtool. There we go. So if we go over here, you can see that we have all of the bandages of the arm. This is like the super high poly, 12 million points. This is a super high poly effect ready to be used. So what I'm going to do here, first of all, this is, again, this is symmetrical, right? So if we want to make it easier for ZBrush and for Maya and everything, we're going to delete half of it. So I'm just going to like hide half of it and just say, well, actually, if I do delete hidden, I'm going to break everything. The reason why we're going to break everything is because it's going to have to rebuild the subdivision levels. I'm going to delete the lower subdivision levels, and now I'm going to delete it. We're going to say delete hidden, so it doesn't have to reconstruct anything. Now that we have this is a perfect opportunity to generate the final bake for this thing. So I'm just going to say C plugin, decimation master, and we're going to pre-process current. And the reason why we're going to do this, where we're going to decimate and then remesh, is because by decimating, we're going to make it a little bit easier. And we're already going to have the final, if you want to call it that, we're going to have the final effect that we're going to need. As you can see, it definitely takes a little bit of time. It's 6.4 million polygons. It's probably going to take like a couple of minutes. I'm going to pause real quick, wait for this to finish, and we'll continue. There we go. It took 1 minute and 20 seconds. Let's go back here. And we're going to decimate. I usually like to do 20% decimation for like the final bakes because it keeps most of the detail and it brings it quite down. As you can see, even at 1.2 million, I think that's a little bit too much. So let me try 10% decimation. And let's see how much detail we lose. That's perfect. We still keep most of the detail. Most of this stuff, by the way, we can recover it in texture or we can accentuate it with textures later on. So as long as we get like most of the cuts and stuff, I think we're in a good position. And this is a great, great number. It should have the proper size. I'm going to export this. We're going to export this to our decimated meshes retopo. And this is going to be Thyrus arm bandages. And it's not a bad idea to keep them exactly as they are right now. I know initially we had like 4 separate groups, but the more we can simplify, the easier it's also going to be. So I'm going to call this Thyrus bandages, high. There we go. We export normally. Technically, since we merged from the previous one, it should have the proper scale. I'm just going to do a quick test to see if that's true. So let's jump into Maya real quick. File. Import, and let's import this guys right here. I'm going to delete them as soon as I finish importing them. I just want to see if they have the proper size. Yes, they do. As you can see right here, that's the proper size. They're just not in the proper position, but that's fine. We're just going to delete that. And now from this guys right here, we are going to see remesh, okay? So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to go to poly groups, and I'm going to say auto groups. This should give one polygroup to each individual bandage. And it's important because we want each bandage to be remeshed in a different way. And they're pretty much all loops. As you can see right here, they're just cylinders. So I'm just going to go to geometry, see remesher, and the target poly count is set at 5. I'm just going to set this at 2. So a little bit lower. And let's just hit see remesh. And let's see what we get. I'm expecting we're going to get something good, but not perfect. So let's take a look. That's actually really good. That's actually really freaking good. Yeah, this is great. It's still a little bit high. Like, that's 16,000 polygons for the whole thing. So it's a little bit high. I'm going to go back and I'm going to set this to 0.5. Okay. 2 was a little bit high. I know if I do 1, it's not going to be enough. So I'm going to try 0.5 and I'm going to try to freeze at the border. Okay. So the border is as we've mentioned before, is the silhouette of the element. And that's what we want to be more careful about. Okay. Something bad happened there. Let's try 1. Let's see if he can remesh at 1. Sometimes when you go way too low, it's not enough to hold the border or hold the edge. Okay, so the freeze border is freaking this out. Let's try the 1. Let's try 1 and see how good we get it. And not bad. Not freaking bad. I think this is actually really, really, really good. And this is probably what we're going to be going for. And I'm going to show you how we can like make this a little bit more efficient inside of Maya. 4.6 active points. It's perfectly fine. So yeah, let's bring this into Maya. Let's export. Let's go back to our meshes here. Arm bandages. These are going to be the arm bandages low. Gonna hit OK. Let's go back into Maya. File, import, arm bandages low. There we go. So I'm not gonna move them yet to where they're supposed to be. You can see this is, again, this is gonna work perfectly fine. There's a little bit of overlap there. I'm not too worried about that because that's actually what we want. I actually want some dirt in there to make it seem like they're part of the character. Actually, I do want to move them to where they're supposed to be because it's gonna look really, really cool. So let's just grab this, guys. Oh, there we go. So yeah, look at the silhouette that we're getting now. Look at that amazing silhouette. Let's turn off the bandages over here. And that's the silhouette that we're going to have in-game. I like to press number 7 to visualize how everything is going to look. And you can see that silhouette right there, like there's just barely like pushing out of the skin. It's going to be amazing for the final result. But this is a little bit heavy. You can see that we have 9,000 triangles for all of the bandages, and we don't need as many. We do want to hold most of the things here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, I'm going to keep the edges on the border active, but then after those edges, I'm just going to skip 1 and select 1 like that. Might even go there, to be honest. There we go. So we can select 4 right there. And we're going to select 4 in here. And Control Supreme or Control Delete. It's going to delete the amount of extra vertices that we have right there. Or extra edges. And this should pretty much bring our poly count all the way down. So let's do that one. Let's do that one. Oh. So that one. Oh, careful here. Okay, see, this is one of the problems of using Serial Mesher. As you can see, this one right here is a spiral. So that's a no-no. We're going to have to fix that one. Let's keep going to the next ones and see if we also get spirals or not. Seems like we were only unlucky on that one right there. And I mean, spirals are not the end of the world. Like we can work around them. They're just really uncomfortable to work around, to be honest. So Control Delete. Let's delete all of those guys. You can see how. Oh, careful there. There we go. Control Delete. Because we still keep most of the silhouette without having as many elements. Oh, another horrible spiral there. Oh my god. Oh, got 2 spirals. This guy and this guy right here. Unfortunately, the only way to fix the spiral is to go back into ZBrush. Because, yeah, this is just a spiral. Again, we can work with this. It's a little bit heavy, which I, of course, don't love. Let me first finish this guy's right here. That's the spiral guy. There we go. It's the other spiral guy. This should be the final. There we go. So yeah, it seems like this guy right here, which is the spiral guy, right? Yes. And this guy right here, they probably got that due to the way that they were like reinterpreted, right? So I'm gonna go here. Let's just wait for this to process. We know which of those they are, so I'm gonna Control C. Okay, I'm gonna select. It is this one, right? It's this one. Invert the selection, and it's, if I'm not mistaken, this one, right? Oh no, it's actually, it's this one, and this one. So those are the ones. I'm gonna say delete hidden to delete the other guys, and we're gonna serial mesh these guys. Because now, if we don't have to think about the other ones, sometimes that helps the overall process for ZBrush. Okay, so you can see that we're getting this sort of like weird artifacts right there, and that's probably one of the things that's causing the spirals. So let's try bringing the poly count down to like 0.5. And let's see if we get a better result on these ones. Worst case scenario, we just keep the spirals and work around them. Not ideal. So let's hope that we get some cleaner effects right here. Okay, that looks a lot cleaner. One way we can check is by going into CModeler. And if we go into insert edge loop, there we go. Look at that. See, when we insert that edge loop, we're only inserting on one specific place. It's not going in a spiral fashion. So there we go. So I'm going to say export. Let's go back to our assets here. Let's call this arm bandages fixed low. Okay. We go back into Maya. Let's select our guilty elements and just delete those. File, import, fixed arms. Okay, this is a problem. And the reason why this happened, actually, let me, I'm not going to be able to go back. That's a shame. So that's a big problem. Wait, is this the, okay, this is the one, all right? This is our normal component. Yeah, okay. So we need to change the name because right now it's the same name. So just call this arm full. There we go. And now we say file, import, and we import the fixed. There we go. So now this guys, let's isolate them for just a second. They're a little bit heavier on the division side of things. So I'm gonna really clean them up. As you can see, I'm doing like a couple of them and then just skipping one or something, just to get them a little bit cleaner, something like that. Just 1, 2, and then skip 1, 1, 2, skip 1, 1, 2, skip 1, and then the final one, 2, skip, 2, skip, 2, skip. There we go. Combine. Assign the same material. Grab the number here and paste it right there. So now we have clean meshes. As you can see, they're hugging the armor piece quite a bit, quite nicely. Might need to move it a little bit, like this piece. If we center the pivot point, we're going to just rotate the slider or something. Or at the worst case scenario, after we're done with the text strings, we can just grab this guys right here and just move them a little bit, just like that. That should be more than enough. And yeah, that's it. Our hand bandages are ready. Of course, we're gonna, as you can see, we are only at 6,000 polygons, so we did reduce it quite a bit. We could reduce it even more. I think it's not needed, so we just mirror this to the other side, and we have the bandages for our character ready. At any point, we can turn on a wireframe unshaded to get an idea of how things are looking. Let's hide the hands. And you can see, as long as it looks, again, normal, the density and everything is not like super extreme, then we're in a good position. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I'm gonna stop it right here, and in the next one we're gonna do this little piece of armor, which is pretty much the last part. After that, we're gonna do the nails and a couple of the other accessories that this guy has. So hang on tight, and I'll see you back on the next one. Bye-bye.